It was a moment 150 years ago that forever changed the nation. A golden ceremony spike driven into the tracks at Promontory Summit in Utah, joining the Union Pacific with the Central Pacific Railroads. Now America had a transcontinental route across the West. And as Barry Petersen reports, there is still a way to experience the romance of the rails on a journey back in time.
This was once the sound and fury of the West. A wilderness conquered by steam and coal. And in this remote part of Colorado and New Mexico, on the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad, steam and coal will take you to the West that was.
So this really settled the West, these railroads.
This settled the West.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And do we see what it's like today?
We'll see the world as it existed 140 years ago.
John Bush is president and general manager.
No paved roads, no power lines, and no parking lots. This is essentially a time capsule of 64 miles of 1880. And once you get out of town, it is the authentic West. Not the Hollywood West, but the real West, the way it actually was.
Cell phones, smartphones.
None of that stuff works as soon as you get out of town.
Its roots go deep, built to bring prospectors for the silver and gold rush of the late 1800s. Taken over in 1970 by people who wanted not just to preserve it, but to give others a railroad experience from a century gone by. All for tickets ranging from $100 to $200 for a 6-hour trip.
People begin to slow down. You know, we see the West here at 12 miles an hour, and for a long time.
Retired chef Chris Carlton of Corpus Christi, Texas, saw much more than just scenery.
When you look out across this countryside, do you think you would ever want it to come across this thing in a horse or a wagon?
You know, it gives you a really thoughtful mind of how those people made those decisions back 100 years ago. What made them come this way and obviously endure what is just unbelievably splendid, dangerous, fantastic country.
In its time, the steam engine was the peak of high tech, the 1800s version of the 747 or the space shuttle.
You look at a computer now and, well, some wires go in or some signals go in and some stuff comes out, but you can't tell how it works inside. Here, if you look at a steam locomotive, oh, this rod is hooked to that piston, and when that moves, then this turns, and when that turns, then this does that. And you can walk yourself through it.
Those who drive them say they have the rhythm and the soul of a living thing. For 24 years, Carlos Lamas has been an engineer, the job millions of children have dreamed of doing.
Hundreds of people wish they could do this. We do it on a regular basis. It really is the coolest thing on the planet. It really is.
And when you make this thing move, you must feel like you're king of the world.
Yes, I do. I believe I'm king of the world.
And the railroad is also an economic engine for the area, pouring $15 million a year into the local rural economy, with jobs on the train, fixing the rails, and refurbishing old cars for a new career back in service. It was watching trains and steam engines as a child that captivated John Bush for life and made him jump at the chance of taking over here 7 years ago. And how many of us can say this?
When I first started doing this, I actually wanted to do it enough that I finally got to where I found it boring. That never happened. That never happened. It is still fascinating, and for me, it's great. I've literally gotten to get paid to do what I wanted to do.
It is said that the wail of a train whistle can trigger a longing for a journey, for an adventure, and here for a steam Goliath taking us places we never dreamed we would see. For CBS This Morning, Saturday, Barry Petersen, riding the rails across the West.
Beautiful.
Oh, beautifully shot.